All right, everybody, welcome back. The women's final between TPS Turku and PSS from Porvoo is about to start in roughly 20 minutes, and it's time for pre-game analysis. We have Tapio Hämeenanttila, coach from the TPS coaching staff, joining me here, and Kati Eteläpää, coach from the Czech national team, joining us remotely. Welcome to both of you. Let's start with Tapio. First of all, now is a good time, it's just between us, to spill all your secrets from your team. What kind of game do you expect this final to be?
I guess that the assumption is that the game will start, I guess, a little bit nervous, and different teams are checking how they are playing, but eventually I hope that we can get the fast-paced game today.
What about Kati? What do you think? What should we be looking for when we see these two teams face off with each other?
Well, I think they are definitely the two best teams in Finland at the moment. So for me, it will be really interesting to follow some national team players from the both teams, and maybe we can talk about later about the coaching stuff from PSS, because there are some important and interesting things also, I think.
We go with Kati first for the next question. What would you say are the main characteristics of these two teams, if we sort of paint a rough picture for the viewers who are maybe not so familiar with the Finnish women's floorball?
Well, I think PSS has made a long journey in the league, and now the past 5 years they have been gone to the top and becoming stronger and stronger. TPS won the first championship last season, and they have also got really good players. So I'm really excited to see the game. I think there are two really strong teams with a lot of individual skills and interesting coaching stuff. So there is a lot of things to follow during the game.
Now, Tapio, if you talk about your team a little bit, this is sort of the season start, the first big game. You had practice games, of course, and practice sessions. But this is different. This is a final game. After this game, the winner gets the trophy and so on. How is the atmosphere inside the team? You mentioned slight nervousness in the first part of the game that would be expected.
Yeah, I guess that the slightly nervous is actually a good thing. So every team needs that, but I guess that after the few minutes, we should get our game to the needed level, so that we can use that maybe little shakiness or whatever there is. And as you mentioned, this is the first game. We have been waiting it for already few weeks at least, and practice it so that we can be ready today. And of course, when the season starts, it's setting up the horizon and like where we stand, so and where we are as a TPS, so own team, but also this game and maybe the beginning of the season to also see and identify where are the other teams. So what kind of slight changes there has been during the summer or from the last season.
Is there any particular theme in this game for your team that you are sort of wanting to see from the players and throughout this first game?
Indeed, there is.
Yeah. Say more.
Yeah. So in the end of last season, we tried to do the fast attacks, and I guess that the same theme is continuing. So let's say fast forward is probably the idea there. So it remains to be seen how well we can attack today. Of course, the opponent might have a different opinion about that one. And also, we have been activating our own game, so that let's see this forecheck and ball control and how fast we can get to the attacking area.
Yeah, forechecking and the activity level in forechecking is one thing we have been talking about in the seminar part so far. So Kati, what do you expect from that perspective in this game if we talk about the activeness level or the initiative level of forechecking with these two teams?
Well, as far as I saw a few games from PSS last season, I expect that they are also going to be active. And Mika told some interesting things during his talking about the analysis. And I think that there are like two phases in floorball nowadays or today. There are teams which are playing pretty passive and waiting, like Mika said, and then there is this initiating style of playing, and I think these two teams both are pretty active teams. So I'm hoping and I think that we will see many scoring chances today because both teams are so active.
Tapio, do you agree this is what we're going to see in this game?
I hope that we will see it. So I agree, and we try to be in reactive forechecking. So see and identify the time windows, and try to use it, and smartly also recognize all different kind of phases in the game, so that we can use the effective forechecking and yeah.
That's an interesting term you used, reactive forechecking. What does it mean for you?
Well, in shortly, there is a time to do the efficient forechecking, and then there is a time when it's not that efficient. So identify these terms so that, because if you do it in a, let's say, wrong way, then that opens up the counterattacks, and then you know that your forechecking wasn't in a needed level. So
in a way, identify those trigger points, those moments, when to be more active and when to sort of drop back a little bit. Am I?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Facing this correctly, yeah. So Kati, if you look at the players in both teams, if you would sort of maybe give us a few pointers, who especially to follow in this game?
One interesting player from PSS is for me Laura Manninen. She is back from Sweden, was playing there many years in Pixbo and also in the final games. I think she brings pretty much power and leadership to the team, as well as to the whole defense. And it will be really interesting to see how she will dominate the Finnish league and what is she bringing with her from Sweden. And I think there are so many national team players in both teams. TPS, there were some success now last weekend against Sweden, even though the games were pretty tough. They have got a lot of skills in the team. Mila Nordlund would be one player I would check out, and also the goalkeepers from both teams. So I think there's like many battle pairs on the field today.
So Kati, you mentioned the coaching staffs of both teams. Of course, we have one member here with me at the moment from TPS side, but what kind of coaches or what kind of coaching philosophies do you see behind the benches today?
Well, when we think about PSS, there are three really experienced former players, also with national team experiences. For Tia Ukkonen is the first season behind the bench. She was coaching as an assistant coach. And for me, PSS has the most interesting coaching staff in the whole league. It's really nice to see former top players behind the bench. We need definitely more women for the coaching in floorball, I think in every country. So Anne Suomalainen and Anne Sonkajärvi, both really much experience. I got the honor to play with Anne in the same team many years ago, and Anne Sonkajärvi, I have been coaching in PSS, and Pia Ukkonen in the national team, as well as Anne Suomalainen. So this coaching stuff I know a bit more, and I think with these experiences they can give a lot of to the team, how to manage different kind of situation under pressure, and skills, and also mind setting on the field. Actually, I don't know the coaching stuff from TPS so well. Maybe Tapio could tell there a bit more, because you probably know your stuff better than me.
That's something I was going to ask from you. So, Tapio, what kind of sort of testing lab do you have there?
Fast and furious. So
Okay.
so playing style we try to be a fast team and play very active floorball, and also do every part of the field we try to be as active as possible, and I guess that the whole coaching team is supporting that. And also I want to say a few things, if you don't mind, about the players as well. So Kati already mentioned a few players, but also from PSS Porvoo, it's very nice to see Emma Parta is at least according to lineups is attacker. So she has already played attacker position. So it's interesting to see. We all know that she's very strong defender as well, and now there is a new center, Daniela Westerlund as well. And then of course, like to welcome Annina Levalampi back. She's a defender in the second lineup. So that from the PSS side, and then of course we have the second lineup is there is Meri Helmi Höynälä is from the last season, but the other 4 members in that lineup are actually the new players at our team. So interesting to see how they will settle up in the first game.
Interesting to see your second line as well, how they perform first time in the new team. Kati, if you would pick some sort of differences. We've been talking about both teams basically being or trying to be active and the philosophies and so on. But if you would pick some differences between these two teams, what you're especially looking for maybe in this game?
Well, I think that's difficult to say what kind of differences there will be. I think that the PSS has a bit more experiences to be in the final, to be in the top 3 teams in Finland. Maybe that is affecting on the mental side. I don't know. TPS has also had a pretty long journey in the Finnish league, and now they get succeeded. And actually, because the balance of the national team players is pretty even, so I am expecting actually today that there will be really, really small things which will be deciding the game.
And if you would have to pick favorite to win this game between these two teams, what would you say?
Yeah, that's a tough question for me.
That's why I'm asking you.
Yes, I think the first season as a head coach is always difficult. I know that from my own experience, maybe that's a different way. There may be a bit, I would say TPS. It will be a tight game.
That is Kati's guess, and I'm not going to ask because you are quite clearly biased. You see everything in black and white at the moment, I'm sure.
Indeed, I agree. So.
But one more thing before we go to the commentator, Olli Hogman from Tapio. You mentioned the nervousness. I'm sure both of the teams are feeling it at this moment. The game starts in 5 minutes or something like that. How would you as a coach, what are the sort of first things when the game starts so to try to manage and get over the nervousness of the first period?
That's a good question. So the nervousness actually should turn to excitement, and the team spirit and working together is the case that you can survive from the difficult starts if there is any. And I guess that normally after you have played like one shift, then everything becomes a normal. So I guess the little shakiness or that those are quite experienced players. So I assume that they will overpass that quite quickly.
I will wish you good luck and your team as well. Kati will stay with us for the intermissions as well. Now it's time to hand this over to Olli Hogman, our commentator, and we will return with our experts during the first intermission. Everybody enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Well, the very warmest of welcomes to all of you. It's the start of the domestic season in Finland, and after the excitement of the World Games, after the excitement of the Under-19 World Championships, now it is time to get ready for the live action to start in the domestic season, as we are just, of course, a few months away from another World Floorball Championships. So in just a matter of moments, out onto the field of play, we'll be welcoming the teams from TPS and from PSS. Two teams separated by Route 1, about 130 miles, 2.5 hours by car along the coast, or just inside of the Finnish coast. But who's going to be finishing with the Super Cup trophy? That's what we'll discover in just a short while as the players get ready to make their way out onto the court. Fascinating hearing the insight of Oskari, Tapio and Kati ahead of the contest. Very exciting to see the growth in PSS as a team in recent years. They have developed enormously. They've really transformed as a force to be reckoned with in Finnish domestic floorball. They're taking on one of the most well-known teams in the sport, TPS, against PSS in a match really as old as the clubs themselves. TPS founded in 1995, a great history in this sport. Actually, the club itself, one of the oldest multi-sport clubs in all of Finland, founded, would you believe, in 1922. So that's the story of the past. Now, what about the story of the present? We're going to be getting underway in just a moment or two.
Uskaltaisin veikata, että aika moni muukin olisi ollut kiinnostunut, joten kerro, että miksi PSS valikoitui, mitä siinä oli taustalla?
No kyllä se oli se, että on menestyvä seura, ollut jo pitkään, panostaa naissalibändiin ja sitten tietenkin se, että PK-seudulla pystyn asumaan ja käymään siellä treeneissä, niin ne oli ne ja sitten semmoinen kokonaispaketti löytyy siitä, että on koulu ja joukkue siinä PK-seudulla, niin näin.
No PSS on ollut seurana aikaisemmin, on ollut SP Pro, Eräviikingit ja Ruotsissakin olet käynyt. Aika monta seuraa, vaikka ikä nyt ei vielä kuitenkaan hirveästi ole. Mikä siinä on syynä? Onko se sattuma, että seura on vaihtunut vai oletko sellainen, että kaipaat tasaisesti uutta haastetta? Avaa vähän tuota.
No ehkä on ollut tähän asti semmoinen, että on sitten lähtenyt hakemaan niitä uusia haasteita. Että no en ole PK-seudulta kotoisin, että on pitänyt aikoinaan lähteä silloin kotota aikaisin ja sitten periaatteessa mennyt aina sinne, mikä on tuntunut hyvältä siinä kohtaa.
No nyt se on PSS ja tänään pelaatte Super Cupissa TPS:ää vastaan. Minkälainen konsepti pelaajan näkökulmasta tämä Super Cup ja mitä ylipäätään odotat ottelulta?
No kyllä tämä on siistiä päästä heti tässä ennen kauden alkuun niin kuin vääntää kova peli ja heti pelata niin kuin kannusta, niin luo vähän semmoista lisäboostia siihen, että pitää tässä vaiheessa olla jo niin kuin hereillä, niin siistiä kyllä.
Yes. Kiitos.
Kiitos.
Tästä jatkaa selostamosta Tuomo Reponen. Erittäin viihdyttävää ja jännittävää salibändi iltapäivää ja iltaa teille kaikille.
And so it is time to get of moments, the Super Cup final about to take place.
PSS on siis homman nimi ja seuraavaksi katsellaan kokoonpanoja.
Look at the PSS team with some interesting changes made recently to their ranks. We just heard a moment ago from Daniela Westerlund, who has signed for the team from Eerikkilä in Helsinki. She returns to the Finnish top flight, or rather returned to the Finnish top flight last year after a year in the Swedish Super League for Nacka Wallenstam. It's her 9th season in the top flight in Finland. She's a major acquisition for PSS. She slots into the first line as expected. It's evident, isn't it, of the ambition in PSS. They're wanting to sign some really big players, some key performers who are likely to transform their prospects of taking the top flight, of actually winning the league in Finland. Starting goalkeeper for PSS, or rather two goalkeepers for PSS, Mina Passu and Alasalo, very experienced goalkeepers. Passu just joining the club after having taken a break from the sport in the 2021-22 season. She spent a lot of last season playing futsal, so great to have her now back with ball in hand rather than ball at feet. She has been a Finnish champion with NST in 2015-2016. Alasalo, a much more well-known presence at the club, but performed very well last season, one of her best seasons yet. Let's have a look at the TPS lineup. And at the first line, I mean, it's packed, isn't it, with attacking threats, particularly one looks at the skipper, Yenasario. And we now are prepared to begin this contest. And so we are underway. It is the Finnish Super Cup final. TPS against PSS. We start the domestic season in Finland. It is PSS in possession. They play from right to left, the first of three 20-minute periods. Great pleasure to have your company. Olli Hogben here, bringing you all of the action from the Eerikkilä Sport Institute. And an early attacking opportunity, goalkeeper tested and equal to it. But their evidence, as Ella Sundström went very close, of the attacking threat of PSS. That is really well stopped. Major test though early on for TPS, and goalkeeper at the other end gathering. Well, it's very interesting, isn't it? The coaches were saying before the match, particularly Tapio Anttila, that he believed it might be a nervous opening. Well, TPS are going to be feeling a little more nervous after that early attack from Ella Sundström. And now, problems for Fanny Holmberg, the 24-year-old, sent to the sidelines. Yeah, that's why foul on Emilia Pietilä. And there, evidence of just how quickly it is that this sport can transform. TPS were looking under pressure early on. Now they find themselves with an opportunity to challenge. And they'll be grateful to Noora Vuorela for the save. Taken from 89, Yenasario. Played at the World Championships on so many occasions, 3 times silver medalist. There is Sario. Returned to the club after a spell in Sweden at Kismora. Came back to win the title, TPS's first title. Looking forward, 22, Ella Alanko Salminen. 28 is Laura Rantanen. One of the most experienced players in the squad. Possession given away, a chance for number 18, Ella Holmberg, drifts wide. Wouldn't have that been a turn up for the books, a goal against the run of the power play as Merihelmi Hörnala takes it forwards. This is aggressive play from PSS. They're attacking, if you will, a defensive situation. Matilda Holmström, 19-year-old, has it in the corner. Interesting listening to the thoughts of our panel before the game, and so much of what they were talking about was the real threat that both of these teams have from an attacking sense, how they do forecheck aggressively. PSS really have come out all guns blazing in this power play, despite being in a defensive position. Last 10 seconds. One more meaningful chance. Perhaps it's coming up now from Rantanen. Got blocked. Oh, what a ball! Fanny Holmberg away! And stopped by Vuorela. But that was an incisive pass to free Fanny Holmberg, the player who scored the goal that took everything to penalties in the championship game in 2021. He's so often been a big time performer for the club. '54 is Veera Kuosmanen, 18-year-old, new signing from Classic, spent 3 years there. Really a great acquisition for TPS. Exciting young player, very highly regarded, for obvious reasons. 79, Kira Virta just won the bronze medal at the under-19 World Championships. For a Finnish team that was upset by Switzerland in the group stages and yet came back to thump them in the bronze medal game. Proof of Finland's ability to deliver in the big matches. Here's Linda Turnqvist for PSS, player who's just signed a new contract. Second spell at the club. Alanko Salminen. Into the corner, but for no one. Slight miscommunication. Sofia Leno had to give chase. Looking for it was Ella Holmberg. She's now got it from her sister Fanny. 21, Hanna Levalampi under some pressure from Leno. Levalampi again, who's recently returned to the team after a spell away. So this player back, 46, Marianne Vallejo. It was an ambitious ball right through the middle. It's created a counter-attacking chance. That was either blocked or bang off the post. Hard to tell. Hit by Meri Heli-Hörnla. But all of that really coming from the misplaced ball by Vallejo. Went right through the middle, really telegraphed it, and it was picked up all too easily by the team in the magpie-coloured kits. Turnqvist. Oh, good ball, and well read by Vuorela. Lindström just in a poaching position. Dario. 44 is Nordland. Top scorer in the league last season. Tremendous performances. On the diagonal, shot blocked. It was Ella Holmberg with the attempt. had a little success, haven't they, so far, PSS, with the diagonal ball. Just finding people drifting in from the wing. Ranko Salminen, new signing for the TPS team. Over 60 caps for the national side. Twice a winner of a national title as well. Incredibly useful and experienced player to have in your ranks.
Meteliä myös tässä hallissa tällä hetkellä, kun siellä sekä turkulaiset että porvoolaiskannattajat lyövät kättä ja
Mattala on the field of play. Possession given away and straight into Vuorela from Apatta. Vuorela busy at the moment in the TPS goal. PSS at the moment looking the more threatening team. The opportunity for Ella Sundström. Chance upon chance, that tipped wide by Vuorela, gathered it quickly as well. Emma Parta, outstretched right hand of Nora Vuorela, who at the moment is the key performer for TPS.
Vaaralliset maalipaikathan on Porvoolle ihan selvästi tässä kohtaa.
Mutta käsittääkseni, joo, enkä siis mitä sanoit, niin en väitä, etteikö asia näin olisi, mutta se, että oliko tämä sitten power break vai Vilanderi break, niin se varmaan selviää kohta.
Local crowd gathered in the Eerikkilä Sport Institute.
Selvä.
Site of the World Floorball Summit. And what a pleasure it is to welcome all of you to the World Floorball Summit, this great collection of ideas, fantastic talking points coming away from this exciting day, not just talking points from the action on the court, but from the lectures and seminars that have been taking place. Covering defensive work from Kiera Virta. Just 19, what a prospect for TPS she is. Well wrestled away by Sundström. This is being worked creatively by PSS. They just ran into a sea of black and white shirts. '66, Olivia Pietilä, just 18. New signing after a couple of years at the Loisto club. Did very well for them. 18 goals in 41 matches. Into the corner by Maikola. This is better use of the ball from TPS. Probably at their best when they can quicken the game and keep possession. Some of those early nerves just gently subsiding. On wearing 26 in possession, Joanna Kasalainen, 19-year-old who made her league debut a few seasons ago. And we pass beyond the halfway mark of the first 3 20-minute period. Possession with Emma Parta. Gets it back again. Chance for the shot, over and away from Emma Parta. Had unexpectedly a second bite at the cherry. Scored 8 goals last season, 6 in the regular season, 2 in the playoffs.
Syöttö saatiin tuossa poikki, että huolellisuutta kaipaavat kyllä pallolliseen peliin.
2-on-2 counter-attack. Well, that's the end of that. Very well defended by Valjaho. Trying to bring it forwards. Covering support which comes from Levalampi. Holmberg for Fanny Holmberg. Uses the boards, keeps the attack alive for PSS. There, the aggressive work from the attackers. Much too aggressive on that occasion, but it's the danger of facing a side, isn't it, like TPS? They will not give defensive players too much time on the ball. By Riina Rautala, took a touch off Olivia Pietilä. Tricky one for TPS at the back. Over the shoulder of number 19, Melissa Edemir. Now here comes Sofia Leino. What a burst forward that was from the 25-year-old. Suddenly defence into attack from TPS. Alanko Salminen with a restart. Martala. Her first appearances for the national team earlier this year. Little stretch from Edemir. Eventually it will be TPS's ball.
Kaudella finaalit 4-3 TPS:lle. Suomen Cupissa jatkoa ajalla PSS parempi, runkosarjassa voitot 2-1 PSS:lle ja muutama tai pari kautta taaksepäin.
Very involved in the game so far. The Honbury sisters for PSS. Additional yellow. So far nobody has really brightened up the court and taken control of the game. It's quite tight. Shooting a little dangerously defensively, TPS, but it's now with Fasario. 61, Emilia Pietilä. Very mobile player, very skillful on the ball. Levalampi picking up the slightly mishit pass. Levalampi goes down the boards into the corner. This one, Lampinen dispossessed. A chance on the counter. It's just taken a little touch to go behind. Still no score as we approach the latter stages of the first period. Delayed penalty in operation, so really now a free run at goal for TPS. Dario. 29 points in the regular season. Last year, the fourth highest in the league. Onala. Really had an extended spell of possession as delayed penalties go. This is a long one. Now perhaps a chance for Hernala. And it's just about into the arms of Alasalo, who really had to be alert and alive to that threat. Nordland was on the wrath of the officials, I think. Discussion going on. Inka Lampinen involved. Confirmation that it is Anina Levalampi, who goes to the sidelines for 2 minutes. Second power play opportunity for TPS. And that was why. Watching on from the sidelines, number 9, Daniela Westerlund, new signing. Aliaho and Lampinen restart the play. Seems we've got an extra lecture or seminar added to the World Floorball Summit. It's happening on the court at the moment. Well, this was the opportunity, and what a fine piece of goalkeeping it was from Salo. So finally we restart the contest. 2 minutes on the clock for PSS to defend the power play. The league champions are threatening. Physical effort from Mariana Vallejo, 32-year-old. She's played 150 plus games in the league for all of her various clubs. She is graduate of the Agahelia University of Applied Sciences. Doesn't get on the scoreboard hugely often, but her work is done at the opposite end of the court and done with toughness and determination at all times. Salio, space for 44, Nordland. Here is Nordland, picks it up. Just has to reset the attack a touch. We'll restart. Salio almost made it through to Rantanen. There's a little discussion, wasn't there, just a moment or two ago about change to the rules. The floorball that after a delayed penalty, it's a free hit to the power play team, and it's a goal to the power play team. It is Meri Helmi Hernala who creates Meri Hell for PSS. And they have got the breakthrough. It's TPS 1, PSS 0. This time they make the power play count. The team from Turku in the southwest of Finland have come to the forest and they've taken the lead. Just took a deflection through the shot from Milla Nordlund. Seemed to come off Annika Altojavi. And that's a Predators goal put in by Meri Helmi-Hörnala, who scored 21 times in the league last season, including the playoffs. So the breakthrough at last for TPS in this meeting between the two strongest teams last season. It's come back off the post, I think. Meri Helmi-Hörnala was in so much space. It was a lovely lateral ball. Suddenly, TPS are looking like they're going to score with every single attack. Alanko. Leino. Still has it. Great holding of the ball. The experienced 25-year-old. Dropping off Linda Turnqvist, who has spent some time outside of the Finnish top flight playing for Werner Oberland in the Swiss League. Got deflected up and away again. TPS looking better and better as the contest goes on. Here's Laura Rantanen. One back and it just wouldn't fall. Nordlund right there or thereabouts. Just seemed to get caught up under the feet. But this is a dangerous spell of the contest for PSS. 3 minutes until the break and probably can't come soon enough. Milla Nordlund. Danger to create something anytime she gets the ball. Dances through! Nearly. Altojavi. Pass goes nowhere. It's with Henrika Maikola, one of the FBC Loisto players who's just moved on after a couple of years there. There's space everywhere at the moment for PSS as the pace has increased, or for TPS, I should say, as the pace has increased. 35 is Matilda Holmström. Need to get hold of the ball, the team in yellow. Easier said than done when you've got that kind of aggressive play from the attackers. Such a key part of the TPS game plan. And it makes them decidedly unpleasant to face. And even if you don't always pick up the first ball, you can force an error from the pass from the defenders. They've done that on a few occasions. 26 is Kasalainen, player who I think a lot of people are really expecting to break through as the years go on and become a pretty key part of this TPS team. Lanko Salminen gives way. As on comes Janasario. Last change before the end of this period. Well, apologies if you just lost the pictures there for a moment as the ball just comes back off the frame of the goal. And we are at the conclusion of the first period. Well, food for thought really at the moment for PSS, because TPS is starting to look better and better. The only goal scored by Merihelmi Hörnala on the second power play for the team in black and white, but more worryingly for the team in yellow, TPS started to look like they were going to add a second, third, even fourth to that in the minutes afterwards. Fortunately for PSS, a break in play, a chance to regroup, a chance to recover, and this is floorball after all. One goal is nothing in this sport. Let's head over to the studio to join Oskari and hear more about the talking points of the first period.
Thank you very much, Olli. After the first period, 1-0 to TPS, and looked like TPS got the better hang of it in the latter part of the first period with Hörnala's power play goal. Joining me here is Hannu Santana, coach of the women under 19s of Finland. How did you see the first period? What was your sort of first impression of these two teams?
Well, quite the same as you. At PSS was at the beginning, like leading the game, but last 10 minutes and especially last 5 minutes was the better part for the TPS.
Also joining us, as in the pre-game, Kati Eteläpää remotely. Kati, what were your sort of main takeaways from the first period?
Yes, I think that in the beginning PSS was more with the ball, but PSS was actually a bit more dangerous. And now, as Hannu said, it changed then. And I was wondering if this one goal with the power play will release a bit the game from TPS, and that happened. They were really active with the ball, playing fast forwards and towards the goal, as Tapio wished as a coach. I think you could really good see the main points Tapio mentioned in the beginning before the game. Yes, I think PSS couldn't use the chances they had in the beginning, and they had definitely more traffic in front of their goal in the end of the first period.
Hannu, you were counting the scoring opportunities 5-on-5. There were 2 power plays, but how did it look 5-on-5 as a whole?
Like I said, the first 10 minutes was quite clear for the PSS. It was like a 6-2 or something like that. But after the first 10 minutes, it was clearly the TPS were better. And then after the first period, it's like 7-6 to TPS.
So quite tight if you exclude the power plays. I think PS has played more with 2 lines in the first periods. How did you see that affecting the game?
Well, it doesn't now affect not so much, but the interesting part was that the TPS first line was a little bit difficulties in the first 10 minutes, and after that they made a good 2 chances after that. So, but they lost their chances 2-3. So I think they will better after the first period.
Kati, that's an interesting choice from the coaches of PSS to sort of use more of the 2 top lines, the 10 players against the TPS. Do you think it showed in some way in the first period, especially in the latter part?
Well, I think the idea behind of this kind of start of the game is that the coaches, they want that the team is awake already in the beginning of the match. And I think they managed to do that. PSS was really ready for the game in the beginning. And I assume it's always difficult to reach the speed with 3 lineups. So then you have to play really active, you have to play really aggressive, and I guess this was the thing the coaches were searching, and they managed to do that. To put the 3rd lineup somewhere to the game could be an option. So it will be interesting to see how they will react after the break, if they start with 3 or continue to play with 2 lineups.
Tapio Hämeenanttila from the TPS coaching staff was with us before the game in the pre-game. part. He mentioned a sense of nervousness, sort of the early nerves being a part of this game. Do you think, Kati, that it showed in some way?
Yes, I think from both teams you could see that the players are excited to play, and the ball was bumping away from the stick, and there were a few pretty bad passes, but I think they got into the game as the game was going on. But definitely you could see the nervousity in the beginning of the game.
Now let's turn our eyes into the future a little bit. Hannu, if you were in either team's locker room at the moment, what would you how would you approach? You can sort of pick your team and what your message would be at this moment.
Well, if it's like a TPS side, I think they don't have to change anything. Maybe the first line has to be a little bit better, but they were making chances at the end of the period. So I think in the TPS side, they get 2 power plays, 1 goal from that. They were better after the last chance of the period. So I think they are good in the game.
So just pump the tires a bit more.
Yeah, that's true.
So Kati, that leaves the other side to you. If you were in the Porvoo locker room at the moment, they were clearly the underdogs in the latter part. So what would your solution and your message to the team be?
I think they should a bit calm down the game. They were pretty hectical and losing that way many chances with the ball. So I think they have their game plan, and now they were a bit like running after the ball. So more structure in the defense and calm down. Like Mika said in the statistic, when you win the ball, it's not necessarily the good option to pass the short pass immediately. When you win the ball, take the ball, make your move, and then the pass. And I think this would be really important for PSS to the second period.
We were counting the activity levels of forechecking in the first period. Now let's get that graph also in there, and we can see here the green being that the forechecking team gets the ball, the orange being that the attacking team holds on to the ball, and the red meaning that the attacking team gets a shot in. So, Hannu, first of all, your interpretation from this graphic, does it represent the way you saw the game?
Yeah, it does, because PSS was waiting more when they were forechecking, and TPS was more active when they started the thing. So that's the thing that so this shows us the game quite well.
And you were also counting something that's lacking from this graphic, so scoring opportunities for the forechecking team when they are active. So what did you get?
I did get that TPS get 3 chances and PSS 2, so quite even.
From active?
But
from the initiative.
PSS have to be waiting because they didn't have anything from
exactly. Exactly.
And TPS was active at least 2 times from that.
And Kati, if you look at this graph, anything to add? Would you want to see PSS probably a little bit more taking the initiative in forechecking as well?
Yes, I think so. Last season, this active style or initiating the game was fitting them very well. So I guess I'm waiting for that. And TPS, I think they were really active in initiating the game a lot, and that seems to fit them. It's always then a choice of the coach, which system is more successful, which system is fitting to my team. And these are the hard decisions the coach has to make perhaps already during the game or before the game against different kind of teams. What is working with my team the best?
And also PSS a little bit more passive, so to say, Hannu. That's probably due to the fact also that they went with more with 2 lines.
Yeah. maybe if they are losing after second period or something like that, they are more active after that.
All right, thank you, Hannu, thank you, Kati. I think it's now time to hand it over once more to our commentator, Olli Hogben. Olli, take it away.
Nyt ollaan saatu vieraaksi Kivran toimitusjohtaja Ilari Abdeen. Kivra jatkaa viime kevään tavoin F-liigan kumppaninaan. Mikä sai jatkamaan salibändin parissa myös tällä kaudella?
Salibändin parissa sai jatkaa se, että meillä oli tosi hyviä kokemuksia viime playoff-kauden yhteistyöstä ja siitä, kuinka Kivra otettiin vastaan salibändin pariin. Ja on tosi ilo jatkaa nyt yhdessä F-liigan kanssa koko tämä kausi ja luoda yhdessä parempia tapahtumaelämyksiä.
No miten tämä yhteistyö näkyy F-liigan seuraajalle?
F-liigan seuraajille se näkyy siten, että me pyritään jokaiselle F-liigan seuran tapahtumakävijälle näissä liigapeleissä tarjoaa parempaa tapahtumaelämystä yhdessä Tiketin ja F-liigan kanssa. Aina kun Kivraan lataa lipun tai ostaa lipun Kivraan, niin pyritään luomaan ehjempi kokonaisuus siitä koko tapahtumasta.
No miksi se kannattaa ladata? Just vähän kerroitkin siitä, mutta saat vielä perustella lisää.
Ja sitten toinen näkökulma, mitä tässä pyritään rakentamaan, niin yhdessä myös hyvän tekeväisyyttä nuorten urheilulle ja salibändille. Että jokainen lippu, joka ostetaan Kivraan, niin kerryttää myös tällä kaudella hyvän tekeväisyyspottia. Ja sitten sitä pyritään jakaa yhdessä seurojen nuorisourheilun parantamiseen. Ja tietysti sitten jokainen yhdessä tehty hyvä teko niin luo myös kuluttajille mahdollisuuden sit, niin kuin omaa arkea helpottaa liittymällä tähän Kivran digipostin pariin.
Kiitos.
Well, we are about to get underway as our colleagues from Finnish television offer their thoughts. I wonder if they're in line with the thoughts of Oskari and co back in our studio. Welcome all of you to the World Floorball Summit of 2022, taking place in the Eerikkilä Sport Institute. And we are shortly to resume this Super Cup final between TPS and PSS. And the team you're looking at, the leading force so far. Merihelmi Hörnala's goal in the second power play, the only successful power play for either side. That's the key differential so far. Very interesting hearing the studio guests talk about what has got to be one of the most complex issues in all of sports psychology and coaching philosophy, which is how to get your team to do everything the same, how to keep things as they were, because the TPS, it's working, and the signs are that another goal or two could be on the horizon. Easier said than done, though. Sometimes there's a temptation, especially after a break in play, to change things, to take your foot off the gas a little. They used in the studio the rather lovely expression, just pump some air into the tyres. That's all, just keep the vehicle maintained. So far, the engine is operating pretty well for the team in black and white. As for PSS, Porvoo, well, they started the contest well, didn't they? Good first 10 minutes or so, plenty of chances. Just imagine what the game might have been like if Ellis Sundström had found the back of the net, if the Holmbergs had managed to link up to beat Nora Vuorela, who's had a good game in the TPS goal. But Holmberg fans and the PSS fans at large won't be too disheartened because there's some time still to go in this contest. Good atmosphere here at the start of the Finnish domestic season. Curtain raises.
Ja nyt on pallo keskellä siellä Rantanen ja Sundström.
It's the start of the second period in the Super Cup as TPS of Turku take on PSS Porvoo, and it is PSS who trail by a goal to nil. They have possession, playing from right to left. The warmest of welcomes to you indeed, wherever you're watching the contest from. Olli Hogben here, and it is a great privilege to be talking to you today. Oh, well cut out. What a piece of defending by Noora Rantanen. How important that was. It was a good-looking ball on the diagonal from the team in yellow. They are so good at recovering possession quickly. TPS. And they're great goal scorers as well. When you look at the league standings last season, only one of the top 4 point scorers in the regular season, not from TPS. What a nice move! What a finish that was! Exquisite from Veera Kuosmanen. Lovely hit, took it low across the goalkeeper into the back of the net. It's TPS 2, PSS 0, and they have picked up as they left off at the end of the first period. That is a fine finish from Kuosmanen, the new signing, the 18-year-old. This is why they're so excited about her. And few things feel sweeter than getting your first goal for your new team in as big a setting as the Super Cup. Let's have a look at it again. Kuosmanen gets it all started. Lovely ball from Maikola, and then it is from the pass from goal scorer Hörnala to the newest goal scorer and the newest acquisition in the team, Veera Kuosmanen. With not a great view of this, just keep an eye on another 46, Marianne Vallejo, just across the body of her own goalkeeper, and trying to defend and block that. So TPS have a 2-goal advantage. Sundström have been, Sundström just slightly miscontrols that. Some indications of the attacking threat of PSS. At the moment, it's starting to look increasingly dominated. This is well won back though. Great covering defence. What a breakaway from TPS. Levalampi using this partnership at the back with Vallejo.
Levalampi oli istumassa 2 minuuttista silloin, kun TPS:n avausmaalin teki. Nyt Valleholta hyvä syöttö.
Oh, it's a great long ball forwards, and amazingly that stays out. I think it was Fanny Holmberg who actually had the chance. Very stretched there, the play. Holmberg, who's been such an important player at big times for PSS. Didn't come back off the post. Did the goalkeeper get a touch on it? Hard to see in the first instance as Daniela Westerlund comes on. So on the court, the new signing for PSS, evidence of their high level of aspiration, signing a player who really impressed at the last World Championships, just plucked away by Kuosmanen. Pulled back.
PSS aloittanut taas kahdella ketjulla tän erän alun ja siinä määrin ei päästä näkemään, että haluaako valmentajat peluttaa ketjua vastaan, vaan ne kiertää tässä nyt luontevasti aika
22, Alanko Salminen.
kolmella ja PSS kahdella ketjulla.
Who, would you believe, first played for TPS back in 2007.
Siinä määrin myös vähän viime keväästä asetelmat
There's 200 games in the league and in the playoffs. Close to 300 points scored for the club. Great to have her back in the team.
Harmittavia poissaoloja tässä.
Tässä siis kaksi ehdottomasti suurinta
Sixes, Johanna Kassalainen.
TPS:llä se ensimmäinen mestaruus viime kaudella. Ja PSS on jo pidemmän aikaa ollut ehdottomasti mestarisuosikkeja tai useamman kauden tässä, mutta vähän on sellainen tunne, että jos ensin oli se klassikin dynastia kaudesta 2007-2013, siinä tuli sitten vielä 15 ja 17 klassikille mestaruudet. Sitten on ollut vähän se Proon aika ja PSS
Jena Sarjo.
sitten tuli mestaruus ja nyt
A
tuli
little pressure momentarily from Mela Holmberg.
kuitenkin mielestäni se vähän viirun verran kovempi suosikki tähän kauteen.
Stick in the way was Linda Turnqvist. It's possession now. Just hard to call her Linda Twist and Turnqvist with that breakaway because she set up an attack that almost runs its way through to Lampinen, but Noora Rantanen was refusing to let up. Well played, Linda Turnqvist, number 15 for PSS, who built that attack almost out of nothing. Possession for the team in yellow. 44 is Norna Björkman. Seven, Emilia Tionen. So we're seeing some players we haven't yet had the chance to really look at in this contest, as fresh legs are needed. All important strength in depth that's required, not just to get you through a game, but get you through the season.
Nyt pelaajia on myös ulkomailla, heitä toki on tullut takaisin, mutta laatupelaajia heitäkään sitten nimenomaan maajoukkuetason pelaajia tuppaavat menemään aika monesti sitten samaan seurajoukkueeseen.
Refusing to be dispossessed. Oh, she's done well. That's brilliant from Pietala. Just half a step ahead of everyone. She's into the boards and a breakaway chance for Valampi to just calm the game down.
Dynastioita tai jossain määrin tasoeroja ja tässä näen kyllä, että miesten puolella on sinällään sama homma, että siellä se
nicely played, intelligently uses the boards. First to everything at the back. Pietala. Sundström pulled back and gathered by Vuorela. Once again, Noora Vuorela proving just how vital she is.
Tässä on pari-kolme hyvää paikkaa ollut erän alkuun ja taas tulee.
Still threatening PSS with Vuorela making another great stop.
Sen verran, että ei pääse siitä Rautala väkisin palloa läpi viemään. Alanko Salminen rauhoittaa ja jatka vielä tuosta.
Always the way that when the headlines are written, the goalkeepers tend to not feature in them. So often forgotten. If TPS are to win this game, then we'll begin with a look at the impressive performance of their 28-year-old shot stopper, who was one of the top goalkeepers in the league last season with 80% save rate. Been with the club a very long time. It's a touch and goes up and away, and Matilda Holmström with the hit. The under-19 World Championships. Valampi.
Siellä on Marianne Väliaho, joka äsken tarjoili hienon pystysyötön juuri Fanny Holmbergille. Väliahokin on kokenut pelaaja, lähes 200 ottelua liigassa, 10. kausi hänellä. Ja Yksi Suomen mestaruus löytyy.
Törnqvist.
Happeessa 4 kautta 13-17 ja 28-vuotias puolustaja nyt sitten PSS riveissä. Björkman pelaa keskustaan.
It's the give and go. A little support and has got it or had it from Inka Lampinen, who was wrestled off the ball. Now it's back with Atojavi.
Maikola pääsee väliin. Höynälä on sijoittunut hyvin ja on viemässä palloa, mutta Hautajärvi taistelee ja taistelu jatkuu yhä edelleenkin.
On for Björkman to control. Interrupts proceedings. Still to come later today, we have the Men's Super Cup on this double-header day of World Floorball Summit action at the Eerikkilä Sport Institute.
Lyö Lasse Kurronen nyt tähän lähetykseen, eli mitä tässä pelissä on toissarjassa nyt toistaiseksi tapahtunut, mitä nostat
Joo, ei
esiin?
tässä puntit ole mitenkään nyt mennyt kummallekaan sen enempää, että PSS on ihan hyvin pelillä kiinni ja toi on hyvä, että toi kolmoskenttä on myös saanut nyt itse asiassa aika hyvinkin tilanteita luotua ja ei ole tonne omiin joutunut pyörimään ja se antaa varmasti myös Ukkoselle pelimerkkiä tuohon pelutukseen, että pystyy enemmän kolmella ketjulla peluttamaan, mutta niin vähän kaipaisin semmoista niinku vielä vaarallisuutta tuohon viimeistelyyn, että ihan hyviä tontteja löytynyt, mutta
scoreline not favouring PSS. They're looking in pretty decent spirits on the sidelines, as you'd expect from a team that won the cup last season.
Ehkä vielä se viimeinen, että voisiko siirtää pikkasen sivuun tai ampua
It
alas.
always takes time, doesn't it, for new signings to really bed in, to really settle.
Joo, se on
ylipäätään yksikin nollapeli on harvinaista ja vuorolla olla niitä 6.
Kyllä. Toki TPS:llä nyt etenkin viime
So
kaudella.
back underway after the break in play. Change in fortunes for PSS, who trail by 2 goals to 0. We're watching the finish of Women's Super Cup to kick off the domestic season. It's tricky to take it out of defence in that sort of position, but it has worked. Rautala putting the ball into the mixer. So have a look at Ella Sundström, who started her second spell at the club in the 2018 season. Played at the World Floorball Championships. And she was the only non-TPS player in the top 4 when it comes to points scored in the regular season last year. So evidence of just how the team in black and white dominated the standings. And why they are the favourites for this game, as it's gathered by Alasalo. To distribute quickly. Front looking to feed off the scraps is Fanny Holmberg.
Kyllä varmasti näin ja ei tule yllätyksenä, että enemmän täytellään pulloja kuin koppalaa palloa tällä kaudella, mutta tärkeä varapatruuna sinne, että joukkueella on 2 hyvää maalivahtia.
TPS:llä puolestaan nuori Vilma Holm, varamaalivahti. Hän tuli Salpasta ja pelasi viime kaudella juurikin tuolta T16-sarjaa.
Crossman and score that lovely second goal. Very impressive strike. Low into the corner. A good start she's made to what many believe will be an exciting career with the TPS.
Höynälällä tänään 1+1 ja tässä Höynälä rakentelee uusia tilanteita Maikolan kautta vasempaan laitaan ja Pietilä odottaa keskustassa sinne syöttää.
Threatening movement to the ball.
Toiselta Pietilältä tulee.
All league champions.
Vuorelasta ehkä vielä sen verran, että hän oli 2017 MM-kisoissa ja sen jälkeen sitten
tries to build an attack for PSS, and these attacks are becoming fewer and further between.
Puhuttu, että sinne kaikki tähtää, että siellä olisi sitten Suomi-paita päällä ja ainakin tämän ottelun näytöt on nyt tähän asti erinomaiset.
Lots of possession.
Muutakin, jos mennään vaikka
Help provided by Tihonen. Turnqvist.
Ei kyllä ja onkin
Leino.
maajoukkueeseen noussut niin kuin vahvemmin mukaan ja viime viikon loppuna sitten oli tuolla Ruotsia vastaan.
So interesting listening to Tapio Harmin-Anttila talking before the match about the idea of reactive forechecking. Really, one could facetiously say, is it an antidote to the, or an alternative to the headless chicken approach, where any of you who ever played any form of ball sport will know that there's such a temptation, especially with younger players, to just chase after the ball, to try to recover it back when actually you can get yourself into trouble playing too aggressively to recover possession. Leave yourself open to the counter, also waste valuable energy. There's a real sense of strategy in the TPS coaching staff as to how it is they're trying to develop their forechecking game.
Kaasalainen Aidemir puolen kenttään Nordlundille. Saario menee keskikaistalla. Nordlund saa pallon takaisin.
Nice looking build-up play. There's seeming to be space. The black and white shirt.
13 minuuttia tulee täyteen. TPS sai sen nopean avausmaalin tähän toiseen erään. Veera Kuosmanen maalin tekijänä. Ja sen jälkeen kyllä puntit ovat tasoittanut, kuten sanoit, eli ei tullut mitään sen isompaa rypäistä. PSS jopa saanut jälleen sitten tässä viimeisen 5-6 minuutin aikana ehkä ne paremmat paikat.
Kyllä, ehdottomasti näin, että nyt varmasti maali teki sinne hyvää, että saisi vähän uskoa tuohon tekemiseen, että on hyvin päässyt paikoille, mutta ei ole vielä palkittu, että mutta oikein hyvin on pelissä.
Holmberg haastaa, ei aivan saa palloa mukaan. Noora Rantanen sen sijaan saa. Rantanen keskustaan. Siinä on Rautala, Fanni Holmberg sukaisee pallon kulmaan. Noora Rantanen ensimmäisenä siellä. Ja näin lähtee Rantanen kiertämään. Edelleenkin pysyy pallolla, vaikka siinä hieman estellään. Matilda Holmström seuraa, mutta Rantanen ei pallosta luovu tällä kertaa. Koko ajan pää kääntyy. Katsele, löytyykö syöttötilaa. Nyt sellainen löytyy. Virta alaspäin Saariolle. Saario. Alaspäin. Ella Holmberg lähtee seuraamaan. Holmberg, joka on erinomainen monivuotinen tehopelaaja ja on kyllä todella juonikas Ella Holmberg.
Space to break away for Emilia Piekala. Set up well and put wide in the end. Great opportunity for Emilia Piekala. Created that opportunity all herself with a good burst into the attacking half.
15 pistettä, silloin 12 pistettä, mutta otteluitakin oli vain 12 ja on kyllä
Eerikkilä Michaela hard working at the back for TPS. Well, one back.
Jälleen pystyy tää PSS 3 rakentamaan ihan järkevän näköistä hyökkäyspeliä, että on kyllä ollut sinällä aika hyvin pelillä tää PSS 3-ketju, vaikka siinä veikkaisin, että ihan hirveästi ei ole yhteisiä reenejä alla.
Ei varmaankaan. Mietitään vielä pelipaikkoikin, eli Inka Lampinen, joka on se 15 vuotta puolustajana, ei hyökkäjänä kovin monta kertaa, niin siinä on jo yksi selkeä
situation where PSS find themselves just muscled off the ball. So look at Ella Sundström.
Hänelläkin tänään
11 goals in the playoffs last season.
Sundström onnistunut maaleja tekemään. Viime kaudella komeat 36 pistettä, niistä 24 maalia ja se oli Sundströmin paras kausi pisteiden valossa. Parta. Puoli ja toisi hieman roikun. Westerlund, Alanko
pressurized by Westerlund.
Joka on näissä tilanteissa on hyvä ja
pressurized a little too much in the hands of the officials.
Ja pelaa aika kovaa. Ja
entirely sure that
voiko sanoa, että pelaa sikaa, mutta
Westerlund's in euphoric agreement.
Nimenomaan.
Joo, erittäin todella vaikea riistää häneltä palloa ja kuten tuossa ottaa sen karvaan ja siihen ja lähtee ja myös erittäin hanakasti tienaa jäähyjä vastustajalle, koska tuossa helposti pihdit jää vähän turhan pitkäksi aikaa kiinni ja hän osaa kyllä sitten tuomarillekin näyttää, että millä tavalla liikaa on kiinni pitämistä ja paljon tienannut ylivoimia omalle joukkueelle just nimenomaan
Salminen on the diagonal.
siinä pysyen hyvin liikkeessä.
Ja näyttää nyt tällä otanalla siltä, että tuo pelityyli ole mihinkään muuttunut siitä. Ja nimenomaan se, kun hän pallon saa näissä kamppailuissa, on uskaltaa mennä pieniin väleihin.
Difficult for PSS to meaningfully build up an attack. Stuttery feel to it for the team in yellow. But just one goal would enormously alter the dynamic of the contest, and they've got players who are more than capable of breaching the defence. Sario takes it away from her own goal. The issue, as always, is the lack of control you have of a game when you're always the ones chasing possession, as that's called a cross goal by Nordlund. Once again, just shut down so well. Kira Virta, the player with the important interception. Looked an important prospect for the national side at the Under-19 World Championships. 19-year-old Kira Virta. Maikola. Önälä. Score of the opening goal. Dances through. Clever use of the ball. Pietilä. Slightly mishit, but possession retained by TPS. Pietilä once more. Score of the second. Kuosmanen. Trying to pressurise to win it back, the team in yellow, but it's not happening. Emilia Pietilä. 2.5 minutes left of this, the second period. Goal in each, putting TPS in control of the contest. Cut out by Kasalainen. Oh, what a lovely move, came back off the frame of the goal. Sofia Leno with the strike. How quickly they moved that ball from defence to attack. And how narrow an escape. The danger is not over yet. Another hit from Sofia Leno. And that, an example really of going from 0 to 60 in a matter of seconds. TPS dictating the pace of this well-managed contest. First the ball, winning it back. Santana. Still they are in possession and still they search for a third goal.
Jos tarvii tiivistää, niin tosta kyllä kaksi todella kovaa viisikkoa vielä rakentaa, mutta nyt ei ole mitään tarvetta ollut siihen, 3 kenttää hyvin pelillä ja just niin kuin sanoit, niin PSS:n kolmosen
marvelous piece of play this was. Not the easiest of shots to take on as well from Leno.
Vastustajan päähän tulee, niin se on sitten plussaa ja jos sitten omiin, niin se on tietty miinusta.
What an opportunity that was! And another super save by Nora Vuorela. It was Daniela Westerlund. It's still Westerlund in the corner. Just imagine if that had gone in suddenly. PSS go into the break with the momentum. They have hope. Still, they search to halve the deficit. Parta was wrestled off the ball. Really a slight Harry riposte feel almost to the way PSS are having to play, to use a fencing analogy. Just trying to get the odd counter punch in when they can. Oh, that almost fell to Kuosmanen. Couldn't cleanly strike the ball, but once more the build-up play was a delight from TPS. Might get one last attack in before the end of the second period, but they're certainly going to go into the third in full control of the game as that one comes off, Mariano Valiaho. And TPS have doubled their advantage after Merihelmi Hörnala gave them the lead. Vera Kuosmanen got her first goal for a new team. And here in the setting of the Eerikkilä Sport Institute at the World Floorball Summit, it is TPS who are climbing towards the top of the mountain, and they're looking very good indeed. They lead PSS by 2-0 with 1 period left. And let's head back to Oskari in the studio.
After the second period, it's 2-0 to TPS. So I don't know. What would you say, Hannu? I think it was slightly PSS's period, even though they are losing by 2 goals at the moment.
Yeah, the scoring chances were to PSS, and especially the first line of PSS was much better this period.
Yeah, so it seems like it's TPS's second line that sort of carries them at the moment. When they get the chance, they are really dangerous, even though they had maybe slightly less scoring chances.
Yeah, and the second line of TPS has 7 scoring chances until now, and only 1 on the own end. So
let's go to Kati Eteläpää joining us remotely as well. Kati, how did you see the second period, and what were the things that to you stood out?
Well, this is interesting. Actually, I don't agree that the second period was for PSS or PSS. For me, it seems like TPS is playing pretty clever. They are playing the ball to the deep, and then they use the second wave when they have the ball. And they are like using the whole court. And I think that they are creating like power play zones on the court, and that's why they are winning pretty often the ball. And I think for PSS, they have pretty much distance between the players. When they are on the ball, they should a bit get closer to create these chances. Of course, they had pretty good scoring chances. But yes, I'm pretty surprised about your opinion that this was for PSS about clearly, because I had their totally different kind of thoughts.
It's a good example how you can sort of look at the game as two experts from a little bit different viewpoints, and this is good to get some conversation, or maybe a little bit of a difference of an opinion. Scoring chances, as you said, 5-7 to PSS in the period. But what do you think of what Kati just told us?
Well, I cannot say that I'm right or she's wrong, but I have to say that it's not so clearly the PSS, but they were better because they were more active on the forechecking, and then that's why maybe they get the ball more, and then they get the more scoring chances.
Let's look at the graphics next about forechecking, and this is first and second period together, so cumulative statistics, and again the green meaning that the defending team gets the ball. With the forechecking, they chose either initiative or waiting. Yellow meaning attacking team keeps the ball, and red meaning attacking team gets a shot. So this is always from the perspective of the forechecking team. That's very important to remember when you look at this graph. Let's start with Kati. What do you see? What stands out to you?
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. I think that when PSS was initiating the game, they got more chances. So this is now what I'm wondering for the last period, if they are staying more active, initiating more. Interesting statistic, and I think it tells us the whole truth of the game till now.
Hannu, if you look at this graph, it shows that TPS is choosing a little bit more versatile style of play between the initiative and waiting, and whereas PSS only basically got their more active, more initiative forechecking going in the second period.
Yeah, and especially for the first line, they were more active, and Ella Sundström was the starter of the forechecking, who then they get more active after that.
Yeah, and I don't know, it doesn't matter too much about the scoring chances or the opinions of who was better in the second period. The fact is that it's 2-0 for TPS after 2 periods. So let's start with Kati. What would you change as a coach? Because if you are behind 2 goals after 2 periods and you should win the game, however, it's a final game. So what would be the things that you would be going through with your players at the moment if you were in the Porvoo locker room?
Well, of course, it is like you said, 2-0, that's nothing. And 20 minutes is enough time to score 3 or 4 or 5 times. I still think that PSS should be more patient with the ball. They should have more patience with the ball. When they win the ball, take these 2-3 steps and then make the pass. Stay a bit tighter also in the offense, that they are also creating these zones they are winning the balls. And I think they are just really tiny little things they should do a bit better. So I would say that 20 minutes is enough, and then look few details maybe for the offense, and that should be enough. But like I said, I have a feeling that TPS is a bit like all over the place, so it's pretty difficult for PSS to get through the defense. They are really aggressive, playing aggressive and winning many 1-against-1 situations.
Yeah, for sure, 20 minutes is more than enough if you get the game going. 2 goals is not too much. Hannu, do you think we will see even more active PSS in the forechecking side in the third period, because they have to sort of get the initiative, get the ball and get the scoring chances?
Yeah, I think that the more the clock is, the more they will be active and more they try to get the ball. Like Kati says, it's like when they get the ball, then they have to be patient, that they don't lose the ball right away when they have make a hard work that they get it. So after 2 seconds they lost it. So that's the main thing, that they can get the goals.
I think the game got even a little bit more physical in the second period. Do you see that as an advantage to either one of the teams?
I think it's an advantage to PSS. They have more players who likes that.
What are your thoughts on that, Kati? To my eye, it seemed that there was more physical contact, and even maybe the yellow team trying to find those situations and when they were more active, maybe be more physical as well.
Yes, I think so too. It was getting more physical, and this is of course one good option to show the opponent team that we are still here. And it has really a big impact on the game, how many 1-against-1 these physical situations you are winning for your team. If you increase the amount of winning these situations, then you are also getting better chances because you get the ball. And I think this is also something which is really important in a mental way, to show that we are ready to fight and we are still fighting, and you will get nothing free. So let's see what we will see in the last period.
If I would look the third period through the lens of the team that's chasing, so that would be PSS. One pitfall, Hannu, to my eye, is that potential pitfall to TPS is that actually they have one line carrying them, and the 2 other lines maybe not on their game. That is a strength, that they have 3 lines, whereas from one night to another, it can be a different line that steps up. But is this something that could be potentially dangerous for TPS, that at the moment they are Höynälä's line is maybe their best unit?
Yeah, it could be, but what I know, the coaches of the TPS, they will react there. They will make two lines which can play there. So I don't think so that it's can be that so dangerous for them. And I know that Sario and other ones from the first line, they are experienced players and they know how to play when they are leading. So I think if they don't get scoring chances, even they get the ball and keep the ball. So they know how to play when they are leading.
Kati, your thoughts on this? Do you think we will see TPS go more to their top 10 players to two lines or stick with three?
For me, a really difficult question because I think that they have been a bit controlling the game so far. I would, as a coach, continue to play with three lineups because I think it's a bit, or at least in the beginning, I think it's a bit dangerous game to start the third period with two lineups. I think it's too early, but interesting to see what the coaches are doing. But I would personally start with three lineups.
What's your guess, Hannu? Do you think we'll see that from the early stages of the third period, or still TPS going with three cylinders?
I think in the beginning they will go with the three lines and maybe last 10 minutes with the two lines.
It's going to be really interesting to see. That's 2-0 for TPS at the moment, and if my timing is correct, we will have 3 minutes and some seconds left of the intermission, so this is a good time to turn the broadcast over to Olli Hogben, our commentator. Olli, take it away.
Yes, thank you very much, Oskari. It's always fascinating, isn't it? Those of you watching from wherever in the world you're watching from, when the experts disagree on their assessment of what we've seen. But a good thing too, it's a very disagreeable sort of game, this, isn't it? Quite right to observe that PSS have had so many chances. They've really threatened, they've really looked at a dangerous force coming forwards. But unfortunately, sport is an unsentimental thing. There's only one metric that counts, and TPS have put the ball into the back of the net on 2 occasions. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are quite a lot of you watching this who are also in disagreement, maybe even with yourselves, conflicting thoughts on the way back into this contest for TPS and PSS, or rather particularly for PSS, who trail by 2-0. But there is a palpable danger that TPS could let this game slip away from them. There's always the temptation, it was briefly discussed in the studio, to make changes to the lineup, to maybe condense the lines and try to almost preempt something that may or may not happen from PSS. From TPS's perspective, well, they've got the game at 1/2, and as we know, having something 1/2 in floorball counts for absolutely nothing whatsoever. I'm sure our colleagues from Finnish television are having a similar sort of discussion about this game. We'll be getting underway in this F-Liga opening, the curtain raiser for the domestic season, in just a matter of seconds. It's great to have your company for TPS against PSS. Apologies for the slight silence from the field of play at the moment. We're working on that, and PSS are working on making a comeback into this engrossing contest. Interesting assessment from Kati about the clever way in which TPS are playing the game. They do look as though they're a team with gears, a team with a few tricks up their sleeve. At the moment, courtesy of Meri-Helmi Hönölä and Veera Kuosmanen, they lead by 2 goals without reply, setting of the Eerikkilä Sports Institute.
Joo, varmaan heidän pitää tää niinku riistopelaaminen nyt painottaa johonkin muualle kuin tonne ihan päätylankkuun, että siihen ei
last opportunities for the PSS players to talk to themselves, talk amongst themselves before the start of this final period. If necessary, we'll go to an extra time period of 20 minutes.
ehkä se, että peliä pitää parantaa.
Interesting, isn't it? Almost if the team talk itself was a visual metaphor, TPS players organised, even have shape, don't they, in their team talk. Perhaps more than PSS, who looked a touch on the disjointed side. So often tempting to create extended metaphors in the world of sports broadcasting. All that really matters is what's going to happen now as the action is set to get underway once more. It is the Eerikkilä Super Cup, the start of the F-Liiga season. We begin the final period. TPS 2 goals to the good against PSS. Teams from Turku and Porvoo respectively. It is PSS who play from right to left, and the start of this period evocative of what we've seen so far. They're being bullied off the ball. They are creating some chances. It was played on the diagonal by Eerikkilä, wearing number 3. Oh, cut out! And almost in the end put in. It was half defended by TPS. Vuorola has not yet been beaten. He's made some terrific saves too. Eerikkilä plays at a fraction behind Merihelmi Hönölä, undergraduate at university in speech therapy.
Puskemiseksi ja haetaan sitä yhtä onnistumista, mikä yleensä sitten avaa padot, mutta allekirjoitko tänne, että ihan viime kaudellakin on todella loistavaa jälkeen.
Who are combining career in elite floorball with their undergraduate or even postgraduate studies. We've got some in the men's competition who are involved in that as well. And that was just a slightly acute angle for Veera Kuosmanen to hit. I'll tell you what, it's been an exciting start from the teenager. She's confident. That could so easily ricochet in.
Katsotaan aukeako se patoi, aukeako tästä TPS:lle hyökkäys vai saako
Edemir.
PSS riistoa hyökkäyspäässä. Parta roikkuu, Edemir pystyy hyvin pitämään palloa.
Free hit from Emma Parta.
Pelasi jo 13 ottelua liigaympyröissä. Virmosta TPS juuri nyt pallolla oleva Aidemir 2003 syntynyt ja viime kaudella tuli.
Oh, what a lovely piece of play, great turn. Pulled back and the shot was blocked by Alasalo. That was really glued to the stick for a moment. TPS continue to justify their reputation of being such a good attacking side into a whole sea of players. So Emma Martala, worth taking a shot from there, could easily have found its way through. Leno. PSS are having to work very hard defensively. Team, new signing permanently for the club for Melissa Edemir, but known to TPS fans last season due to the cooperation with SPS Virmo. Useful player to have, Edemir, versatile, clever player. A lot of space suddenly for Laura Rantanen, goes across goal. Laura Rantanen, 23-year-old, scored the goal that won the title against today's opponents. What a lovely renaissance, shall we say, for a player who missed the whole of the 2018-2019 season with a knee injury, sustained on international duty. Taken behind the goal by Jen Nasario.
Aikaa pelailla ja kertoa, että liikaa ei ole läpi pelattu, mutta ollaan nyt täällä kun viihdytään. Mutta on erinomainen pelaaja Höynälläkin ja sinänsä asiaa puhui.
Once again, TPS dictating the nature of the game. The way they work the ball from one wing to t'other. And the space created for Michaela to shoot. Good goalkeeping by Salo. Got down low to retrieve that and tried to distribute fast. Just skipped away from Tihonen. The unpredictability of the build-up play from the team in the striped shirts, leading to that really good opportunity.
Kyllä siinä oli lähellä päästä maalipaikkaa ja samanaikaisesti antoi aikaa muulle nelikolle vaihtaa, että se on hirmu tärkeää, että nuo kärkipelaajat jaksaa tehdä siellä. Pikkasen jo vaihtoa alla ja halutaan vaihtaa tuoreet pelaajat, niin se yksi pelaaja jaksaa siellä hidastaa sen hyökkäyksen ja nyt oli tosiaan lähellä. Syntynyt enemmänkin kuin pelkkää hidastusta.
Such a good eye for a pass, Alanko. Just slightly overhit. Emma Parta has to give chase. So Sundström tries to come over to keep the attack alive. A little stick just coming out from Edemir. And it's pulled back and it has crossed the line. Now, hang on just a moment. Welcome to the club, Daniela Westerlund. TPS 2, PSS 1. And how quickly narratives can change in this sport. They brought her in to be a big-time player, and she's got a big goal. And it was really a goal that came out of scrappiness from PSS, working hard to win possession back. Sundström, a fine pass. Westerlund with a shot from close range, took a second attempt, and Broiler finally beaten. Well. Now what? I'll leave you arguing amongst yourselves at home. PSS finally have a reward for all of the chances. Just overhit, and as a result, right at the other end, a great stop from Salo. And how important it could be to keeping the momentum in the hands of PSS as suddenly the game starts to look really stretched. Team in yellow very nearly played themselves into great trouble. That went across the goal, looking for Elina Hatojavi. At last, the team in yellow has reason to be buoyant. They couldn't work much harder for it either. Oh, this is again beautifully, intricately worked. That is a peach of a goal. It's Olivia Pietala. It's probably the finest move of the match so far. And it's TPS 3, PSS 1. And the momentum switches back again. Olivia Pietala's strike. And this was served up on a dinner plate for her. It's a lovely team goal right at the other end. Possession lost. And we bring you back the audio just in time to hear the banging of the drums. The TPS fans are in fine form, just as their side is. Good job too. We've got the down back now. You can hear just what the atmosphere is like in the Eerikkilä Sports Institute. Michael are not able to get there and play pulled back. Foul on Fanny Holmberg, who looks to be in some discomfort. take a bit of a blow there. The 24-year-old. One of the great stalwarts of the team, Fanny Holmberry. Brief spell away from the club in Switzerland in the 2017-2018 season. Otherwise, she's been there since 2012. Once again, a look at that collision. It looked as though for a moment PSS were on a collision course with TPS to make it 2-2, but so quickly Olivia Pietila restored the 2-goal advantage, and that is what great teams do when they're challenged. Perhaps they were just woken up a little, TPS. 57 is Nora Rantanen, another PSS player down. It's the goal scorer, Daniela Westerlund. Well, what psychological effect? That's the question of scoring and then so quickly conceding. To see the exact nature of that challenge, but Milla Nordlund has been given a 2-minute penalty. Very often with floorball matches, one looks back at key forks in the road, little mini battles, and this is one of them. This is a big chance for PSS, their first power play of the match. They work this well. They've got players who can finish. One of them, Emma Parter, just missed it, striking the ball. He scored 3 goals at the Under-19 World Championships recently. Parter, charged down by Sofia Leno. Westerlund being a really important player in this power play. It's Gudella Sundström. They've got options and they've got time. Decent defending there from Alanko. Sundström. Marta blocked by Hernala. Halfway through this power play advantage for PSS, the advantage yet to turn into something material. Lundström just had to stretch to retrieve that. Just a little behind Parter. They can't quite get a clear shooting chance. They just need one. Parter. Back to her, Parter, well blocked. Tidy defending by Ella Alanko-Salminen, and she had to block it too because she was blocking her own goalkeeper. So missed that, and you leave an unsighted goalkeeper not thanking you for it later. Last 5 seconds, last chance, here it is, and it's up and away and over the bar, courtesy of Rorila. Well, they got that right. Just couldn't get the finish. The power play yields no joy for the team in yellow and black. TPS lead by 3 goals to 1 as we approach the halfway point of the final period in this, the 2022 Finnish Super Cup, part of the World Floorball Summit. What a great addition these matches are to World Floorball Summit, a chance to see all of the tactical discourse, the sports psychology conversations actually turned into reality on the court. Oh, given away, must be, surely! And it is somehow stopped by Salo. Well, did they potentially overwork that move, TPS? It was a fine piece of keeping by Ala Salo nonetheless. But a golden chance to make it 4-1. Is Yenasario given away. Trying so hard to win it back with Sundström. As opening contests in a season go, this is not bad at all. Little layoff. And the choice made not to shoot immediately, but to go for one more pass. Salo was really tested. Power break. 2-goal advantage to TPS. How you know it's the start of a floorball season. Certain things you need, and him in the crowd is one of them. Not the easiest thing to control either, that giant flag. That's nothing compared to how it feels if you're PSS trying to control this TPS team. Slipping away. Maybe Helmi Hörnala. Such a good reader of the game. The number 23 for TPS. He's with a chess-like understanding. Eerikkilä, who is so highly regarded for how well she plays out under pressure, and all of you out there will know what a prized acquisition it is to have a player who can do that, who can handle the ball at the back, make the right decisions when the attackers are bearing down on you. Cushioned off the boards, Santana moves it on. It's back with PSS. It's well worked by Levalampi. Another player who's good at creating space with her body. Been forced to rethink the decision. One back well. This is nice from PSS. Creating some space, getting numbers forward and cut out so well by Virta. Good check back by Kira Virta. TPS. Some point in the next several minutes or so, PSS will begin to really have serious conversations about what to do with Ala Salo. Not to overload just yet. The shot forces a good save. Royler down low. A fine game. Goes across goal, flashed by Laura Rantanen. Westerlund. To play a bold ball, Annika Hatojärvi was managing to reach it. But so rarely in this game have PSS had absolute control over the build-up of their attacks, courtesy of TPS knowing when to increase the pressure on them, knowing when to strike. Ambitious long ball. Goes straight to TPS, allows them to build up an attack perhaps. Keep possession from the restart. Eerikkilä will get it back. Just to play it back for the team in black and white. He's going to be called into defensive action here, perhaps coming across is Eerikkilä. Just forced a reset in that attack. Lampinen put into the danger zone. Tips away. It's back under the possession of PSS. 18 is Ella Holmberg. Moved on by Levalampi. It's now with Emilia Pietra. Not for long though. They come again, PSS. Oh, this is really well done. At the other end, the goalkeeper, Alasalo, is getting involved to deprive Anna Martala, who rather pickpocketed the defence. That's well saved by Rorila. Good positioning. Westerlund with the stop. Westerlund with a hit, I should say. Oh, tough one for Hatojärvi to cut out. A little too physical in trying to reclaim the ball. And we're into the last 5 minutes of the Women's Super Cup. In the Sadio. And Nordlund trying to get the hit away. Now it's with Nora Rantanen. Just nearly got themselves into a pickle at the back. The leaders, but this is a good breakaway opportunity, and it is yet again a fine piece of keeping by Alasalo. How she has played her part in this entertaining contest, how she's keeping PSS hopeful. Outstretched right arm. Another good piece of goalkeeping. The players colliding with each other. One of them, Hatojärvi, now has the ball. Lundström. Oh, that was put almost on a plate by Linda Turnquist. We approach the last few minutes. Pernilla loses out. They've got people forward. Oh, that's an important touch by Pietra. Not for the first time too. Looking across, isn't she, Alasalo? Wondering when it's going to be time. They've got a chance here, it's deflected. Still, PSS hopeful of an unlikely comeback. We enter the business end of the Super Cup now. It's in their hands. TPS. Alossajura. Founded in 1995 as a floorball club. The 1920s multi-sport outfit with well over 800 members playing the sport of floorball. Team just over a couple of hours drive to the east, south of Finland, PSS of Porvoo, who trail by 2 goals. It's the start of the domestic season for one of the giant nations of this wonderful sport. It's wonderful to have your company for it as well, as we see if PSS can find a way back into this game with 2.5 minutes to go. That will help. Just couldn't fashion a shooting chance at Holmberg. Siblings everywhere you look in this game. Lampi moves it into the corner. Oh, what a touch by Merihelmi Hörnala. That was a beautiful piece of defending. TPS are going to feel the pressure now with PSS playing with no goalkeeper. Westerlund. Minutes and 20 seconds. PSS. The artificial power play they've overloaded by virtue of removing their goalkeeper. The shot goes across goal. It's blocked and it's an opportunity to put it in! It's done now, surely. TPS making it 4-1, and Mille Nordlund, the player who was the top scorer in the league last season, puts it in with 1 minute and 2 seconds left, and that is the gamble that you take when you remove the goalkeeper. Nearly there now, and they know it. Strange calmness comes over the TPS supporters, and this is why. It is 4-1. Mille Nordlund, number 44, with a well-taken goal from distance. Yes, no Alasalo in between the sticks, but still, that was a difficult finish. Player who joined from Endre in Sweden, where she played for a year. Got a highly impressive life outside of the sport of floorball, where she is training to be a social worker. Works with young children in kindergarten. 30 seconds left. PSS's brief hopes seem to have been put pay to. Warila has had a really fine game in goal, and at large the TPS team have demonstrated just how it is they went about winning the league championship. Merihelmi Hörnala got things started for them, and from then on it was TPS largely in control of the contest. And with that, they secure the Super Cup by 4-1. TPS of Turku beat their near neighbours PSS Porvoo by by 3 goals. Merihelmi Hörnala getting them started. Vera Kuosmanen made it 2. A crucial goal from Olivia Pietala after Daniela Westerlund had pulled one back for PSS. And right at the end, into an unguarded net, Milla Nordlund put the result beyond doubt. TPS are your Super Cup champions. Well, there are some new signings in this PSS team. It will take time for them to gel. It was an entertaining game, they did a lot right, but it will be back to the drawing board now as they go into the regular season. Strong performance from the team in the black and white stripes, TPS of Turku. We've also got some powerful new signings. Great young players coming through, like Vera Kuosmanen, like Olivia Pietala. How interesting, their oldest goal scorer, 24 years old. 21-year-old getting on the score sheet, and 2 18-year-olds finding the back of the net for TPS. Future bright for TPS. So we'll have the trophy presentation in just a moment. Draw to a close. Now coverage of the Super Cup. Presentation to the players of the match. Alasalo, I'll certainly be hoping that neither she nor Vera Kuosmanen pack their bags and go to a different club anytime soon. Alasalo, evidence of why she's such an important part of this PSS team. And Vera Kuosmanen, the 18-year-old, that is a pretty emphatic debut performance. Capped off with a goal. Well done to the officials as well, taking charge of the Super Cup. A huge honour for any referees, evidence that you've made it to the top of the domestic game. It's a high pressure occasion for them and for the coaches too. Captain of PSS, Inka Lampinen. It's not the one they wanted to win, but they are a team that's been on the most extraordinary of journeys in the sport of floorball in recent years, emerging as a major force domestically. Inasario, the captain of TPS, comes across to collect the trophy. A fine start to the season for TPS. By virtue of a win by 4 goals to 1, they win the Finnish Super Cup to get their season off to a flying start. Themes of celebration in the Eerikkilä Sport Institutes. Here at the World Floorball Summit, it is TPS at the top of the mountain. They go over to offer their thanks to their supporters. A good gesture too, because the TPS fans And the PSS fans have done a great job in providing a lovely atmosphere, this curtain raiser for the domestic season. Well, it's been a great pleasure having your company for the Women's Super Cup final. Just a short break now because we'll be getting underway in a little while with the men's competition. Until then, goodbye.
Thank you, Olli, and welcome back to the studio for a short post-game analysis. Let's start with Kati Eteläpää. Kati, your thoughts on the game. What were the deciding factors for TPS that won the game 4-1?
Yeah, I think it was the calmness they had after winning the ball. It was almost every time a good decision. They played the ball to their own team. In compared to PSS, when they won the ball, I didn't see there during the whole game a big change. They played the ball pretty fast, and often it was not such a good decision. I mean, like too fast, and they were not able to play the ball to their own team. And I think that the TPS, they have a really good balance between initiating the game and waiting. I think the timing with their forechecking was really great. It was really dynamic, and they were really reacting on the opponent team when they should go more aggressive, when they should wait. And I think these were maybe today the things which were deciding this game for TPS.
Let's go immediately to that graph if we can to see exactly what Kati was talking about, the forechecking stats that we have been talking about today, and we see it here. This is throughout the whole game, combined all the three periods. Hannu Santanen, as Kati said, TPS being more versatile with the forechecking, more active, and then at times waiting, sort of 50-50 split when we see that PSS being just more on the waiting mode.
Yeah, that's true. And on the both things, when they were waiting or they were active, both ways they get the ball more than the opponent gets the advantage of those. So like Kati said, it was a good balance between those two things.
And this statistic is something we're going to follow, of course, during the men's game as well. If there is one line to sort of lift up from this game, I would say Hönalä's line was pretty good today for TPS side. You've been counting the scoring opportunities by line and overall. How do your stats look?
Yeah, the stats look like that they get 10 scoring chances and just 3 on the own end, so quite a good game from them. And 2 goals and 1 power play goal from Hönälä, so +3, not so bad.
So Kati, quickly looking forward to the men's game. What are your expectations from that? We're going to see Classic against SPV for the men's final.
Yeah, this will be really interesting game. Is for years dominating the really top play. And again, as a interesting thing is that Juha Kivilehto will be there behind the bench. This is, if I'm right, his first big game as a head coach. And SPV, if Peter Kotilainen is fit, there will be really interesting issues in this game. So I'm looking forward.
Hannu, an interesting point Kati made there about Juha Kivilehto, a great long-term player, now debuts as a head coach of the reigning champion. Good player, and I know him. Maybe if some player can do it, maybe Juha Kivilehto is the guy. But it's not an easy task to jump from the player to the same team that you were representing as a head coach.
And just few months between those things, so it's a big thing how he can make the authority and other things in there. I don't think that he can do it, but there can be difficulties.
Yeah, It's going to be interesting to see today. The men's game starts in 55 minutes, if I'm not wrong, and we will start 20 minutes before 6 finish time. That is in 45 minutes. 35 minutes. Thank you correcting my math. That's never been my strong side. Thank you, Kati, very much for your comments. Thank you, Hannu, and we will see you here 20 minutes before 6 o'clock finish time. See you soon.
Thank you.